Hey everyone, welcome to Coffee and Commercial. Today I have a very special guest, a very dear friend of mine, Hank with Better Daze Dispensary here in the city of Covina. And we're gonna go over his entrepreneurial journey and what it actually takes to build out, lease a commercial space for your new business. So looking forward to this conversation, guys. Stay tuned. So Hank, tell me a little bit more about Better Daze. I know a lot of people have this preconception of what a dispensary is. I know that when I first started talking to you about it, I kept picturing usually the dark color, black, kind of just a bunch of kids coming in and out of the dispensary. Can you tell us a little bit more of what is Better Daze? What is it all about, and what are the products that you offer?
You know, one of the things that I learned about running a dispensary versus a grocery store or a drugstore is that even people who know a lot about cannabis, they don't know a lot about all the products. Mm-hmm. Teaching and knowledge are everything. Mm-hmm. So everything starts with our care consultants. Mm-hmm. Our care consultants provide one-on-one service with each customer. We set up what we call a high-touch service model. And going back to the regular dispensary experience, most dispensaries, when you go in, you're in this room, walled room, mm-hmm. where you have to give your ID so that you show that you're 21 and that you can come in and buy. Mm-hmm. And then you go through this door into mm-hmm. the next room, and all the what they call bud tenders are mm-hmm. behind the counters. We've changed that up in that we have an open format. So when you come in, you can see the entire store. We mm-hmm. have a reception desk where we check the mm-hmm. guest in, and we get them set up with an account. If they're a returning customer, they just scan their ID, and then they go in and they're allowed to walk around. Mm-hmm. So the store is inside of the store is like a showroom, so that the customer can experience all the various products. We have a queuing system, mm-hmm. so we know who's next, and our care consultants mm-hmm. then go in and call out the customer's mm-hmm. name, and now they're given one-on-one service, walking them around, and it's all about the ability to connect.
Now, with that being said, what was one of the biggest challenges that you faced when you started to say, okay, we're going to the cannabis business? What is one of the things that kind of stands out that you said, wow, I wasn't expecting this?
I think the biggest challenge was bringing together a team mm-hmm. of individuals that believed in this journey, mm-hmm. that all had different expertise.
That see the vision.
Right. Mm-hmm. And so it's very important that you have a good understanding mm-hmm. of what everybody's role is, yet it's impossible to be an expert at everything.
Exactly.
And so, you know, like our CFO, Gian Barazzi, mm-hmm. you know, he's a financial expert, and he understands modeling and mm-hmm. how to do pro formas mm-hmm. and, you know, where the levers are for managing our money. Rick had been an entrepreneur his entire life mm-hmm. and has a great background in real estate and, you know, building labs for cannabis mm-hmm. and just really is gritty. Mm-hmm. And then our fourth partner, Bernie, mm-hmm. she's an HR people expert. Mm-hmm. And so we really had all the bases covered, yet you got to keep your costs down.
So it sounds like what you're mentioning, correct me if I'm wrong, is that in order to be a good entrepreneur, you need to look at the strength of what the individuals are bringing to the team and let them lead on that strength that they're more comfortable in.
Yes, and I'll add though, you have to know the business. Mm-hmm. So you can't bring in an expert on marketing if your business doesn't require marketing. Mm-hmm. You can't bring in an expert on operations if your business is all marketing. Mm-hmm. And so you have to understand your business and your business needs mm-hmm. and then bring in the team so that you can be successful.
I've been watching you and your team for some time now, and what you've done in such a short amount of time, it's incredible. If I remember correctly, you were the first one in Covina to open the doors.
We were very fortunate. That was a goal of ours.
Right, competing against the major players in the industry.
Yeah, and I give, again, a lot of credit to Rick Probst. So that was his focus, and he's done these build-outs before, and he worked with a lot of great mm-hmm. partners, and we had a lot of support from the community like mm-hmm. you, and we were very proud that we opened 2 days before Christmas.
I remember that.
A full 2 months before the competition.
Wow. Yeah. Who has been your greatest, I would say, mentor or guidance that kind of helped you with this journey right now, going from the corporate world to being self-employed?
And there's a multitude of people starting with my three partners. Their trust and their teamwork, gives you that it's going to be a hard day, but we're going to get through it because we're going to get through it as a team. And you have them there constantly to talk about things and come up with ideas. And what I've learned is you can learn from everybody. So I had an opportunity to work at Medcare Farms as a consultant, which was at the time a $14 million dispensary. And there were 25-year-olds that were running that store that I learned so much about the cannabis business. Forget my 34 years in retail. I was learning from
the actual cannabis business from these 25-year-olds.
Right. And two of them joined our team,
No,
Kaylee
nice.
and Bree.
Oh, excellent.
And
excellent.
so, that's the other thing. You may have 34 years. I may have 34 years of corporate experience. Doesn't mean a thing unless I'm willing to continue to learn. And I'm a big believer in the teacher-student relationship. There are times when you are the teacher and you should be teaching somebody something, and there are times when you need to be a student.
That's amazing. That's excellent. Guys, that's a great tip. So I know that a lot of you are looking at this on YouTube. If you get anything out of this interview, that was it right there. Sometimes you have to be the teacher. Sometimes you have to be the student. Tell me a little bit about the challenges you faced when you decided to, let's open the store. Now we need a location. Now we need to find a place where you're going to call home. What are some of the challenges that you faced that you weren't expecting when you first decided to become an entrepreneur?
The grueling regulatory process for winning the license. And what I mean by that is the city of Covina did a really nice job in making it a fair process. There were 20 original applicants for 3 licenses.
Okay.
And step one was application that was 95 pages and very thorough and very complete. Step 2 was a in-person interview with a committee that represented the city. It had consultants, it had the police chief, it had some, city employees.
City officials.
Right, and you went into that and you were, it was kind of like the Rodney Dangerfield test in Back to School, where you sit in a chair and you have to answer these questions with conviction and knowledge. They need to know that the people they're going to give this license to know how to run a cannabis business. It's a highly regulated industry. And the last was in front of the city council. Yet inherent in all that, coming back to the real estate, is you had to find a real estate location that was zoned by the city. So the city gave all the applicants all the information. There was a whole package. Part of it is, where is the green zone? Where
is it
where
allowed?
can you, and then you have to go find a landlord that's willing to work with you, negotiate a lease. And there's risk, as you know, for a landlord to have a cannabis business right now.
And there is a lot of those challenges that a lot of people are not aware of. I know that when I've dealt with cannabis clients, and I just had a meeting with a warehouse that packages cannabis, and you're absolutely right. You have to be in the green zone, so you have to be in the zoning area. Then you have to look at what's available that fits your need and the size that you're looking for, right? And then it has to meet the requirements of distance from certain schools and other things around the city, which comes with the zoning. But then you have to have a landlord that is friendly to it. Because I've seen challenges where we found the location, it wasn't within the zone, the city would approve it, but the landlord didn't want it, right? And then I had issues where we found the location, city was okay with it, it was within the zone, but it had a mortgage or a lien on it from a bank, and it's still considered federal in that aspect, and they may call that loan due. So the landlord didn't want, or the bank didn't want it there. So and with the firearms dealers that I've dealt with, we found the location, the landlord was okay with it, but the DOJ wasn't approving the location. So it takes a lot of people to find that one spot that fits and checks all the boxes in order for you to do business, correct? And you went through
absolutely.
that, and you had to navigate that as a brand new entrepreneur.
And once the owners, the 4 owners, passed the background check at the state level, there's a lot of difficult things about the legal cannabis industry in California, but one of the good things is that the state, almost 100% of the time, goes with what the city recommends. So all of our focus was about the city of Covina. winning that license through a really good applicant process, finding the right location, which we did. And the piece that I'll add on, I mean, you understand the commercial real estate part way better than I do, but from a business perspective, finding a landlord that would work with us and allow us to lock up a location, but not to have to pay full rent until we were open.
Now, that leads me to my next question till you're open, right? How long was that process from when you found the location, found the landlord that was willing to work with you, and that the city would approve, from that moment to the day that you opened the door and said, I'm ready for business, I can open the door today? How long was that process?
A little over 2 years. And the reason is the application process, the approval process at the city level, from going from 20 applicants to 3, took a little over a year.
Wow.
And then it took another, call it 10 months to open the store. And
is that because of the tenant improvements and putting the store together and actually getting the air conditioning done, the flooring done?
100%. There were a lot of requirements to building the store out in the right way.
Wow.
And although we had a really clean building, there was a lot to do. We had 2 parcels that we turned into one, so we had to knock down the wall, and there were tons of upgrades to the building. Roughly $600,000 of upgrades that we put into the building that made the store compliant. 2 years process.
Now, with that 2 years process and that $600,000 worth of investment into your business, were you able to recuperate in your negotiations with your landlord any tenant improvements, free rent, while you did the construction? Because you said it took you 2 years from the day you looked at the location to the day that you opened the door.
Yes, our landlord was great with us. One, they paid for the air conditioning, which we love. I mean, I've worked in a lot of stores in my time, and there's nothing worse than having a faulty air conditioning system. It's a nightmare. Brand new system he put in. The rest we took care of. Yet again, that building, because of the timeline of us getting approved to the time, and then the additional timeline of doing the build out, we were able to negotiate a deal where we had, from the time we won the license, 10 months before we had to start paying full rent. We paid partial rent. It was partial like $5,000. It was very, very nominal, made sense to us.
It's still $5,000 a month for 10 months. It's a lot of money.
It is. And that, as part of the pro forma we had built out, we knew that was going to be a requirement. Yet paying what we are paying today, fortunately for us, the month that happened, so the agreement was we would pay 30 days after opening or 10 months from winning the license. We got the store opened in 10 months. That was extra motivation. So the month that month that we opened is when we started paying full rent.
If you were to look at one thing that you would have done differently throughout that process, what would that one thing be?
I think that pricing is a big challenge in cannabis. There are a lot of taxes. There's actually 33% taxes that you put on top of the regular price that the consumer pays. And we made a change about 2 months into what we call out the door pricing, where we incorporate the pricing of the taxes into the final price. And because it was just very confusing for customers to say, well, I thought this was $25, not 36.
Yeah.
And so we've adjusted our pricing strategy to make it simple for our people and for our customer. I would have done that differently. The other part is, you've taught me a lot about marketing and about external outreach. We just had a great discussion around YouTube
we
seniors.
did. We were talking about that.
So there are 3 groups that we are focused on in winning. Group 1 is the flower connoisseur. Flower still drives the industry, and we've got a lot of great expertise around that. The other 2 are harder, seniors and women. Women make 75% of the non-discretionary purchasing decisions in this country. And it's reversed in cannabis because there's still a stigma associated with, well, how could you be a mom with children?
I am looking forward to some of the classes that you're going to talk about, that you're going to host, and some of the reels that you're going to be doing that
we've
show
already
the
done some
actual benefits of
there's
cannabis.
There's tons of health and wellness benefits with cannabis, and that's our focus. The same with seniors, fastest growing demographic. Yet again, getting to those groups has been difficult because there's still this perception that, Cheech and Chong
Right? It still
are
has that
representative
stigma.
of the average cannabis user. And that's just not the case.
Mm-hmm.
And so there will be a tipping point one day. When that tipping point happens, we hope to be already ahead of the curve and really take advantage of it.
What do you see in the future for Better Days? Better Days?
Yeah, Better Days Dispensary.
Better Days.
Yeah. I will be proud when we are recognized as Covina's local dispensary. When, there are certain businesses that really have been able to exemplify the area. Start one, here in the San Gabriel Valley, In and Out. I mean, they're dominating the world, and they started here in a very simple format. What made them good? Quality, consistency, and there's nobody more proud of In and Out than Southern Californians. And so that's what we hope to inspire one day as we grow the Better Days brand throughout Southern California.
I do want to commend you on the success that you've had and becoming the #1 opened neighborhood dispensary here in the city of Covina and beating out 20 other applicants. I still can't get over that feat. And you were able to navigate not only the challenges of becoming an entrepreneur coming from the corporate world, but then you had to fall into navigating commercial real estate and dealing with that. And you had to wear all those different hats. And but here we are today with the beautiful store right down the street from us, guys. I do encourage you to stop by and take a look. So if they want to find you, where are you located and where can they find you on Instagram or social media?
Yeah, betterdaysdispensary.com is our website. Our location is 216 East Roland. We've got a great corner location, Roland and 2nd. We are on TikTok, we are on Instagram, we are on Facebook. Again, Better Days Dispensary will lead people to those sites.
Perfect. One last thing before we go here. What is the one piece of advice you would give people that are looking at either being an entrepreneur, navigating commercial real estate, or the cannabis industry? What would be one piece of advice that you would recommend?
Well, that's a great question. I would say something that I learned from a mentor many years ago. When things are going really well, you're probably not that good. And when things are going bad, you're not that bad. We as humans, we have a tendency to beat ourselves up. We have a tendency to probably over-celebrate when things are going well.
Or exaggerate when things are going bad, right?
Right. And the inherent in that message is stay focused, stay steady. It's not that you shouldn't celebrate success. You should, especially with your team, and they're working hard for you. It's not that when things go wrong that you shouldn't be worried about it. You got to turn that worry into action. You got to take those wins and push and go faster and keep moving forward. And it's all about incremental improvement, getting better every day. But yes, it's so easy when things go wrong to say, man, I really screwed up. And that doesn't lead to great progress.
That doesn't help.
Right. And if you think, when you start thinking that you're better than everybody else, that's when people are coming from you and you get knocked down. So you got to stay focused, always look for that incremental improvement.
Excellent. There's a great words of wisdom right there, gentlemen and ladies that are looking at this podcast today. We're going to end it right there. Again, Hank, thank you very much for being here today. There was a lot of information I know that you had to cover and wear so many different hats in your journey that got you here today, where you have one of the best dispensaries in the city of Covina. Look for Hank's website. Reach out to him if you have any questions. I'm sure that he can help you out, and look forward to your educational videos. With that, guys, thanks again for being with Coffee and Commercial. We'll see you on the next episode.